tonight. Actually, we began training Ukrainian Armed Forces members in 2015 under Operation Unifier, and we have trained over 35,000 members of the Ukrainian Armed Forces since 2015. Woo! And we will keep going. We have trainers in England and Poland right now training members of the Ukrainian Armed Forces so that they fight and win this unjust and illegal war. And then finally, we put on the table over $1 billion of military aid, including 8 Leopard 2A4 battle tanks, announcing 4 of those today, which will go to Ukraine. In addition, we put on the table 155 millimeter ammunition, a NASAMS air defense missile system, artillery for the M777 heavy artillery, and cameras for drones, winter clothing, fragmentation vests, rifles, ammunition for rifles, and the list goes on. My Ukrainian friends, let me tell you, the government of Canada is here with Ukraine in the short and the long term for the sovereignty, for the security, and for the stability of a sovereign, democratic Ukraine.
Wow, what a pleasure to see you. Slava Ukraini! A year ago today, tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers and civilians we have lost were still alive. And 20% of the population hadn't had to flee to safety. This morning, I visited St. Demetrius, a school in Etobicoke. You know it well. It's the heart of the community. 151 Ukrainian refugee children go to classes there now. At St. Demetrius, students and teachers have collected books, clothes to give to new families. They were running another donation drive this morning. This sort of thing is happening at schools, community centers, church basements, places of worship, and libraries across the country. And it's just one more example among so many of Canada's support for Ukraine. But we know that supporting and welcoming refugees is not enough. These children and their parents didn't want to leave Ukraine. They love their country and will always love their country. Canada continues to support those on the front lines. Through Operation Unifier, the Canadian Armed Forces have trained over 35,000 members of the Ukrainian security forces. Since Russia's invasion, we have provided significant military support, including artillery, ammunition, armor, and tanks, and more. Earlier today, I announced a new round of military support, including 4 more Leopard tanks and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Mr. Putin, we will stand with Ukraine as long as it takes, as much as it takes. We also announced new sanctions and punitive economic measures to help continue to deplete the Kremlin's war chest. You have stood up to a ferocious defense as Ukrainians against Putin's ruthless aggression. In Ukraine, you have beaten back Russian advances time and time again. You have proven that victory is the only option. A year ago today, the blue and yellow flag represented the iconic Ukrainian landscape of clear skies and wheat fields. Now, missiles pierce that sky and craters mark those fields. But thanks to the courage and strength of Ukrainians, the flag still flies in Kyiv, in Kharkiv, in Kherson, and across Ukraine. is so great to see you waving it in solidarity here tonight and across Canada. Because here in Canada, we believe in a free and sovereign democracy. We stand up to bullies, and we will stand with Ukraine with everything it takes for as long as it takes until we see peace return to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini! Slava!
It's great to see so many people here in support of Ukraine, and not just from the Ukraine, not just from the Ukrainian background, but everyone across Canada. My friends, a year ago, Russia began its illegal invasion and onslaught of murdering innocent civilians, including innocent women and children, for 365 days and counting. The people of Ukraine and the heroic Ukrainian armed forces have bravely resisted. The determination of the Ukrainian people is truly inspirational. And we're here together to show the world that the people of Ontario stand with the people of Ukraine today and every day. The bonds between our two countries run deep. Generations of Ukrainians have found peace, freedom, and opportunity and a better life right here in Ontario. And over the past year, Ontario has welcomed over 60,000 Ukrainians to our great province, providing them with the supports they need, including emergency housing, access to health care, education, and assistance with finding jobs. We all pray that peace and victory are on the horizon. I want to thank you for coming out tonight. May God bless the people of Ontario, and may God bless the people of Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine.
I came here today at this stage to say 4 big thank yous on behalf of the government of Ukraine, on behalf of the people of Ukraine. It has been probably the most tragic and defining year in Ukraine history, but we stood our ground. We did not break down. We did not surrender. We withstood the Russian aggression due to our fearless warriors, due to our men and women on the front lines and in the rear, due to their sacrifice, their courage, their resilience, but also due to the powerful support and assistance of the democratic world, in particular that of Canada. Mr. Prime Minister, the political, financial, humanitarian and military support and assistance provided by Canada, by your government to Ukraine is invaluable, and it will always be remembered. The program of the government for letting Ukrainian families, in particular women with children, to find refuge in Canada reflects the true nature of the Canadian nation, its kindness, compassion, its humanism. Our words of gratitude also go to the Premier Doug Ford and the government of Ontario for their daily efforts to welcome and accommodate those families in Ontario, provide them with job opportunities, education and health care. We say huge thanks to you, to the Toronto City Hall, to the Torontonians, by naming the street near the Russian consulate a Free Ukraine Square. For letting Ukrainian flag proudly fly all year long here on the Nathan Phillips Square. And finally, a huge thank you to the Ukrainian community of Canada, the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, national, provincial, and City of Toronto, for your fantastic support tireless work in fundraising, providing humanitarian assistance, and for your active part in the rallies in support of Ukraine. You are amazing. You are unbelievable. Thank you all.
A year ago today, a vicious dictator launched an unjustified, illegal, and unprovoked attack on an innocent people and a sovereign country. He thought that it would be over in days. He thought the people would back down and allow for his domination. But what he underestimated was the defiance, the determination, and the courage of the Ukrainian people, not just in Ukraine, but all around the world. Courage and determination that I see right before me here today. What he underestimated as well was the determination of democracies to stand with the Ukrainian people. Democracies like Canada, who owe much of their prosperity, much of what we have, to the hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian immigrants who have built our land from the prairies to Etobicoke to every town, village, and hamlet across this country. We must be determined to stand with our friends in Ukraine for as long as it takes so that freedom, democracy, and sovereignty prevails. You will always have a friend in Canada as we lock arms with you and push towards an eventual victory that is definitely going to happen sooner or later, and Canadians will be with you all along that journey. Thank you very much for your determination. Slava Ukraini! Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Friends, шановна громадо, all of us will remember where we were and what we were doing at 5:07 a.m. Kyiv time on February 24th. The board of directors of the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress had just finished a call with you, Prime Minister, and members of your cabinet. And as soon as that call ended, our phones lit up. The invasion had started. That morning, the invading Russian army encountered a defiant Ukrainian nation, united as one. Men, women, grandmothers, and grandfathers took up arms to defend their country. A year later, Ukraine still stands. And this evening, our community has organized vigils and commemorative events in 50 locations across this country. Sadly, in the past year, thousands of Ukraine's sons and daughters have given their lives in defense of their country. This evening, we honor their memory because heroes never die. Герої не вмирають! Не вмирають! Герої не вмирають! In the past year, millions of Ukrainians have been displaced from their homes, and Canada has welcomed over 170,000 of them. We are grateful to all Canadians who have donated and have opened their hearts and their homes to our fellow Ukrainians. We are especially grateful to our volunteers in our community whose tireless commitment inspires and energizes us. Prime Minister, we thank you for your resolve in standing with Ukraine in her hour of need. Minister Anand, I know that not a day goes by when you're not working on the Ukraine file. Your compassion and empathy are genuine, and I know that because we have shed tears together at the horror and injustice of the crimes against the Ukrainian people. Premier Ford, Deputy Mayor McKelvey, we couldn't do it without the support of the province and the city, and we are grateful. On this anniversary, we appeal to all nations to immediately provide weapons and economic aid that Ukraine urgently needs. Let us do all in our power to ensure that this, the first anniversary, is the only anniversary. This year has been one of tremendous loss for Ukraine, but it also has been a year of a new Ukraine, a Ukraine that has never been more certain of who it is and where it is going. Let us do all in our power to ensure that this year a new anniversary will arise, Ukraine's Victory Day.